All right, you guys, about ready to hit a workout Saturday morning. And I just smashed a nice big breakfast. I made this huge fruit plate, some eggs and bacon, and then got fueled up here. Gonna smash some back today. I'm a little behind on my training this week, so I'm gonna smash some back today. I normally don't lift on Saturdays. And then the plan for the rest of the day is a lot of work. We gotta get a lot of work done around the place. I cut some trees. I have so much tree work to do, but I trimmed some trees. I'm gonna get that stuff loaded up, picked up. I got some mowing to do. I got a couple acres to mow today. And then I need to start putting the cable squat rig together. I did get the leg extension, leg curl machine right there, all put together the other day. We sold the rower, we sold the couch. We're gonna get a assault bike right there. But we still got some work to do. I got a mirror in too. So once I get this put together, we'll get the mirror up back over here above the dumbbells. So just a lot of like little things, but today's gonna be busy, mainly because of the training added in. I wanna hit the trails too. So it's time to rock and roll. We got a lot to do. Let's smash some back first, then we're gonna get going.
Hey, yo, bad play.
Hey, I just went bought a watch with a whole lot of diamonds to show all these niggas it's my time. Took a trip out to Cali to hang with the Crips, make a play and get high off that Zaza. I say R.I.P. Kobe, a nigga so fly when I ball out, fuck around skydive. So much chicken on me, could've went by the Williams, the Rudy's, a big ass Popeye. In a whole different bracket, this life is immaculate. If you hit me for bows, then you know that I'm taxing. Keep buying clothes, that shit still in the packages. If he say that he robbed me, he capping me. Really no niggas throw sevens like Kaepernick. You not blind and you see that we have it. Known in my city, so no, I'm not average. Came a long way from dope in the can. Niggas know that I step in the game that I rep. Went to Solomon, iced out the 10 for 600 on all I net. Paid it full like Mitch. Really having this shit. Got out that stuff, started rapping, and 6 months later I'm rich. Nigga know I'm a stepper, I step with some elegance. All these niggas I'm with is some fellas and strapped with a post, so I hope that you hesitant. If they spin, make them wish that they never spin. Most of these niggas is hoes, they be telling it. Man, I'm finna take over, I'm stamping it. How you bang this hit, they selling, ain't ripping shit. Left your dog in that rain and ain't help with it. How is you solid, you ain't never dealt with it. You see me, I come different, I'm blessed with it. We ain't got the rollie, it go with my necklace. 30 for both, you could die if you mess with it. Can't do the show if it don't gotta check with it. These niggas popo, I swear they irrelevant. Hating like I don't know, that's really jealous. Knowing they mad that they no longer next. Niggas know that I step in the game that I rep. Went to Solomon, iced out the 10 for 600 on all I net. Paid it full like Mitch. Really having this shit. Got out that stuff, started rapping, and 6 months later I'm rich.
But, all right, there we go. Yeah, about 4.5 truckloads of just branches that we trimmed, some down branches. Have a boatload of trees to cut this summer, but we're getting there. It's like you can't stress about it. You just gotta keep doing one load at a time. You fill the burn pile up, you wait for some rain and a calm day, and you burn again. So we're getting her done this morning. It's like, it is noon right now, so I'm gonna go eat, do some mowing this afternoon. We're gonna keep this day going. That's the day right there.
Got a lot done today. Enjoying a quick cigar out on the back patio. And really have been thinking so much about growth, have been thinking so much about what it actually takes, because it's hard and nobody wants to talk about the difficulty, or when they do talk about the difficulty, it's like a sulking. But the reality is when our mindset is personal growth, when our mindset is being, your highest self or the best person you can be, whatever terminology, language that you use in that, it's challenging. It's hard because it's a roller coaster ride, especially if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business owner like I am. Like there's challenge and contentment, because though you have enough, your mindset often is to continue to grow, even though you're content in what you have. And so that piece is always a challenge, but then there's that piece of, there's a pull within me that it has nothing to do with growth as in money. Even though monetarily there's always that piece, but there's also a piece of knowing you can be a better human, that you can be just living beyond where you're living right now. And I don't really have the words for that always, but I know a major piece to that has to do with connecting inwardly. I know it has to do with sitting in uncomfortable spaces. I know it has to do with expansion. And something that I've been talking with my clients about on this journey, I've been using this phrase of transformation is longevity. When we're actually transforming, we're transfiguring into who we actually are. And I struggle with the word becoming, even though it's not untrue. But I like to use the word being better, because you already are who you are meant to be, even though you may not be manifesting that or showing that in the way that you live right now. I use the term, or I use this phrase of, if you're trying to lose 100 pounds, you already are that person who's lost the 100 pounds. You just have to visualize yourself as that and then live out exactly what it is you see that person doing. You didn't become that person. You already are that person. You just have to be that person of how you visualize them right now. And so as we're transforming, that is actually what breeds longevity. That is actually what breeds this life that continues on with this transformation, versus if we stick on the same line of losing weight. So many people lose weight and then gain it back, and lose it and gain it back, and it's this roller coaster ride. But if you actually went through this transformative process and did it the right way, you would have longevity in that. But part of that transformation is more than just physical. If you just go through this physical transformation of losing weight without going through the emotional and the spiritual and the inward transformation, you will gain the weight back. If you don't face the problems within you, they will destroy you. You have to bring those out so they can help you live and have longevity. That's why I'm against having people use a GLP if they're just starting. Now, there is a place and a time for those type of things. But if there's no plan that goes with it of how we're exercising and changing our life and transforming there, and how we're eating and fueling our body and changing the poor relationships we have with food, how we view food, how we view guilt in our emotions, how we view our triggers that cause us to eat a certain way, or to sit on our couch and not take action on things. All of these pieces, if they are not addressed, guess where you're going to go, or guess what you will stay reliant on in order to lose the weight? You will gain the weight back, or you'll be reliant on a drug in order to have that happen. And so that's where this transformative piece of what I teach my clients when I'm talking to them about comes into play. And the other night I was saying to them, and I'd heard this once, if to end this loop, right? If we don't want to go back into losing, gaining, to end this loop, you have to forget about your familiar past. You have to break free from your familiar past in order to break free from a predictable future. Think about that. You have to break free from your familiar past in order to break free from a predictable future. Because if you continue on this same loop over and over and over, your past is always familiar. You're going to repeat that same cycle. You're going to repeat that same loop. And what does that do? It makes your future very predictable. You can predict the future because of the past loop that you're in. And so you have this choice now to break free from that loop. You have a choice to break free from that predictable future. And so we have to sit with these areas in our life. We have to sit with our triggers. We have to sit with what bothers us. We have to sit and face and walk into that darkness so we can actually stimulate a true transformative change. So that term transformation, or I really like the word transfiguration, either one of those comes from the word metamorpho in the Greek, which is obviously where we get metamorphosis, right? And that is an actual physical, whole experiential change in oneself. Not just outward, but inward. It's an entire change. I like to, we often think about butterfly when we think about metamorphosis. This is what we all learned in school. And rightfully so, because that proves that what is in that caterpillar has always been in it. Because as it transfigures into a butterfly, it's still the same being within. A caterpillar always had that butterfly within it. But also I like to think about a grain of sand. And I taught this on like a previous week, because this is kind of like an ongoing series that I've been teaching on as I'm continuing to gain more revelation on it and just understanding on it. But I said to them in like week one it was, on using the analogy of even a sand transfiguring into a pearl, right? And then I was like, once you're, from the longevity standpoint, once you're a pearl, the pearl doesn't go back into the clay and go down into the depths of the sea, right? True transformation, you have been transformed. You do not go back. But then I got to thinking that is actually just and I gained this over the next week as I went into week 2 of teaching with them, that was just a way of understanding of consciousness. And that even though it's a beautiful analogy and painted picture, we can get stuck in this, I'm still a piece of sand. And that's when I told them that you're actually, you were never the sand. You've always been the pearl. You're just awakening to the fact that you're the pearl, and you can start acting like the pearl. And once you realize that, that's where you can actually break free from the familiar past and break free from a predictable future, is when the consciousness starts to change and you view yourself as, oh man, I am the pearl, and I've always been the pearl. But since I didn't know that I was the pearl, I didn't act like the pearl. Because you've always been told you're just a grain of sand. And so we stay in this continued battle and fighting and trying harder to obtain to be this beautiful pearl. And we end up staying closed off and hidden in the depths of the sea within a clam, instead of rising up through the waters into the light, exposing ourselves so the world can see what we really are. So you can actually see what you really are. So it's actually about you seeing who you really are, and once you can see that, it'll reflect like a mirror. It'll reflect out onto the world. And a lot of you are looking into a mirror and expecting the reflection to smile back at you, but you're not smiling into the mirror because you don't see yourself in that way that it would smile back. You don't see yourself as the pearl. And if you want to actually go on the journey of transformation, have real change, and quit going on this loop and going on this roller coaster ride, you have to change the way that you see yourself. You have to change the way that you think. And how do we do that? Is you open your heart to change. You open your heart to transformation. And for me, it was like this piece of, okay, I can't do this. So I opened my heart up to the Spirit to actually change me, because it's not my job to change me. It's my job to participate in the changing that's at hand and to go on the journey that's at hand. And that's part of the greater life. That's part of a beautiful life. That's part of living beyond average. And then we can start believing and having faith that the world is and can be this beautiful, wonderful place, because I can have faith that Spirit is actually doing the same thing in not just me, but in other people too. And then your hope in humanity and your hope in life continues to grow, and you can have trust and faith that it's not just about you changing people. It's actually not your job. It's my job to share and to share the wisdom and the revelation and just the stories that I go through, so you can do the same. So you can go on your journey. You can have permission to go on yours. It's the whole point of just sharing a small video like this. It's the whole point of how I share my clients' transformations along the way, and how their lives are changing, how they're getting healthy, how they're taking control of their life and becoming much happier, loving people. And one of my clients said here this last month, it was a really cool statement. He's like, man, once I got selfish with my health, I actually became such a less selfish person. I'm actually going to get him on the podcast, because it's such a powerful statement. Is, you know, he's a dad, he's a father, he's a husband, he was a business owner, all of these things. And it was like, once he just got what would be selfish to other people, what it looked like selfish, his change grew his capacity of what he could do, what he could handle, how he handled things. And that actually made him a less selfish person. So, if you want to break free from your familiar past, so you can break free from a familiar future, open your heart. Open your heart to change and start participating in your life of transfiguration, and start viewing yourself as the pearl that you actually are, so your behaviors will match how you view yourself.